Amara, a 19-year-old with no formal education or fancy tools, dared to challenge Elon Musk by building a robot in her garage. With nothing but scrap parts and sheer determination, she set out to prove that innovation doesn't require a degree. It just needs heart. What happens when a young girl from a small town takes on one of the world's most successful entrepreneurs? Amara's journey from building a simple robot in her garage to facing Elon Musk's high-stakes challenge will leave you in awe. With every setback, she rises stronger, proving that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Will her creation impress Elon Musk, or will it fall short? Watch her defy the odds, tackle failure head-on, and show the world that greatness comes from unexpected places. This is a story of passion, persistence, and an unwavering belief in oneself. You won't believe what happens next. Before we dive deeper into this gripping story, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, Epic Story Moments, yet, now is the perfect time. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update and be the first to hear our incredible new stories. Don't forget to like, share, and comment to support more heartwarming tales like this. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We love hearing from you. Elon Musk stood on stage, commanding the attention of a packed hall filled with engineers, investors, and fans. The air buzzed with excitement as he detailed Tesla's latest advancements, including groundbreaking AI technology poised to redefine the automobile industry. Every announcement was met with thunderous applause, the crowd electrified by his vision. After concluding his presentation with a confident smile, Elon stepped back and invited questions, scanning the eager audience. Among the sea of raised hands, he pointed toward the back of the hall. A young girl stood up, her presence starkly different from the polished professionals surrounding her. Dressed in simple attire, clutching a notebook, she exuded quiet determination. Her voice, steady yet bold, carried across the room. "Mr. Musk," she began, "my name is Amara. I'm 19 years old and from a small town. I built a robot in my garage using scrap parts. I don't have a college degree or formal training, but I want to work at Tesla. Will you give me a job?" A hush fell over the room. The audacious question left many stunned, some whispering in disbelief, others chuckling at her directness. A teenager with no credentials daring to ask Elon Musk for a job? It seemed absurd. Elon's expression betrayed intrigue. Tilting his head, he asked, "A robot, huh? What does it do?" Amara's nervous smile barely concealed her excitement. "It can pick up objects and perform simple tasks," she replied. "But I know I can make it better if I have the right resources." The crowd leaned in, hanging on Elon's response. Many expected a polite dismissal or a quick deflection, but Elon Musk wasn't known for conventional reactions. He leaned forward, his tone challenging yet measured. "You built it in your garage?" he asked. Amara nodded. "All right," he said after a thoughtful pause. "Here's the deal. Improve your robot to solve a real-world problem and show me something impressive. If you can, I'll consider giving you a job." The room erupted in gasps and murmurs. The challenge was monumental, and yet Amara's face lit up with determination. "Challenge accepted, Mr. Musk," she said confidently before taking her seat. The audience buzzed with speculation, some inspired by her courage, others skeptical of her chances. What seemed certain was that everyone would be watching closely. Back in her modest town, Amara couldn't shake the exhilaration of the challenge. Her small, cozy home sat on a quiet street where everyone knew each other. Behind her house lay her humble workshop, a garage cluttered with salvaged parts and second-hand tools. It wasn't much, but it was her sanctuary. On a rickety table lay her robot, a patchwork creation of wires, metal, and motors, capable of simple commands but far from revolutionary. She sat staring at it, the weight of Elon's challenge sinking in. "How do I turn this into something extraordinary?" she whispered. Amara's family supported her dreams as best they could. Her mother, a nurse, and her father, a taxi driver, worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Money was always tight, and Amara had relied on free online tutorials and countless hours of trial and error to teach herself about technology. The people in her neighborhood had often mocked her efforts, calling her machines junk and urging her to focus on finding a real job. But Amara had always believed in the power of her dreams, and now, with Elon Musk's challenge, she had a chance to silence the doubters. Elon had given her 30 days to transform her robot into something impactful. After days of brainstorming, she found her mission: tackling waste management. Trash overflowed in her community, with recyclables and non-recyclables mixed in piles on the streets. A robot that could sort and recycle trash would not only address a pressing issue, but also showcase innovation with real-world implications. Amara dove into her work with relentless determination. The first hurdle was resources. Without access to expensive equipment or materials, she scoured junkyards, collected discarded electronics, and improvised with what she had. She often worked late into the night, her garage lit by a single bulb and the soft hum of soldering tools. Her journey was far from smooth. Technical failures, resource shortages, and moments of self-doubt tested her resolve. One evening, exhausted and frustrated, she nearly gave up. But the thought of standing before Elon Musk again, with nothing to show, reignited her drive. This was her chance to change her life, and she wasn't going to waste it. As the days passed, her vision took shape. The robot evolved, its capabilities refined with every challenge overcome. It could now identify different types of waste using basic sensors, sorting recyclables from non-recyclables with surprising efficiency. But Amara knew she couldn't do it alone. One day, as she worked in her garage, an elderly man from the neighborhood stopped by, curious about the noise. He introduced himself as Mr. Harris, a retired engineer. Seeing her potential, he offered to help, sharing his expertise and guiding her through complex problems. His mentorship proved invaluable, transforming setbacks into breakthroughs. With just days left, Amara's robot was ready. What had started as a rudimentary machine was now a functional prototype capable of addressing a significant issue. As she watched it sort trash with precision, a sense of pride and accomplishment washed over her. She had done it against all odds. She had met Elon Musk's challenge head-on. The day of reckoning approached, and Amara prepared to present her creation to the world. Little did she know, her efforts would inspire millions and prove that innovation knows no boundaries, not even those of age, education, or circumstance. Amara's determination burned brighter with each passing day, but the road ahead was anything but smooth. With no money to purchase expensive parts, she became a regular visitor to junkyards, scavenging for old electronics. Sometimes, she found useful motors, sensors, or scrap metal. Other times, she returned empty-handed, her bag filled with nothing but frustration. Despite these setbacks, she refused to give up, reminding herself of Elon Musk's challenge: show me something impressive. Her next challenge was perhaps even tougher, teaching herself advanced skills. Amara spent countless hours watching online tutorials, reading forums, and experimenting with coding. She struggled to make her robot smarter, writing and rewriting lines of code late into the night. Errors were inevitable, and the robot often refused to cooperate. During moments of despair, when nothing seemed to work, Elon's words replayed in her mind, pushing her to try again. Word of her tireless efforts began to spread in the neighborhood. Some neighbors mocked her, dismissing her dreams as childish. "Do you really think Elon Musk cares about some kid from this town?" one sneered. Even her friends expressed doubt, suggesting she abandon her project and find a local job. Their words stung, but Amara had something stronger than their skepticism: a vision and an unshakable determination to prove them wrong. One particularly challenging day, Amara found herself staring helplessly at a broken motor. Frustrated and unsure how to proceed, she heard a knock at the garage door. An elderly man stood there, his kind face curious but warm. "I'm Mr. Harris," he said. "I've been hearing about your project. Do you need help?" Initially hesitant, Amara explained her predicament. To her surprise, Mr. Harris, a retired engineer, understood her goals and offered to assist. With his guidance, Amara learned how to optimize her robot's motors and tackle complex coding problems. His mentorship became a turning point as her robot began to show real potential. As the deadline loomed closer, Amara pushed herself harder than ever. She worked tirelessly, barely sleeping as she tested, repaired, and refined her robot. The garage became her entire world, cluttered with tools and strewn with wires. Every breakthrough filled her with hope, while every setback fueled her resolve. Finally, with just 3 days remaining, her robot performed a flawless test run. It efficiently sorted trash into 3 categories: recyclables, non-recyclables, and organic waste. Watching the robot in action, Amara felt a surge of pride. For the first time, she truly believed that she could impress Elon Musk. "You're going to see this," she whispered, smiling at her creation. But even with the robot functioning, doubt lingered. What if it breaks down in front of Elon? She thought, the fear of failure gnawing at her confidence. Shaking off her nerves, she spent the final 2 days rehearsing her presentation. Her family, ever supportive, played the role of her audience. Her mother, who had always encouraged her dreams, said, "No matter what happens, we're proud of you." Those words gave Amara the strength to keep going. On the morning of the event, Amara carefully packed her robot into a box, checking and rechecking every detail. Dressed in her best outfit, a simple white shirt and black pants, she tied her hair neatly, projecting a professional image. As she stepped out of her house, neighbors gathered to watch. Some smiled encouragingly, while others muttered doubts. One woman scoffed, "Let's see if Elon Musk even remembers her." Amara ignored them, her focus unshaken. Arriving at the Tesla campus, Amara was immediately overwhelmed by the scale of the event. Engineers, executives, and media representatives filled the room, their polished appearances a stark contrast to her modest demeanor. Yet, she refused to let the grandeur intimidate her. Holding her head high, she carried her robot to the designated presentation area, her heart pounding with anticipation. This was it, the moment she had worked so hard for. The world would soon see what she had accomplished. When her turn finally came, Amara walked onto the stage with her robot cradled carefully in her arms. Elon Musk sat in the front row, his eyes fixed on her with a mix of curiosity and expectation. This was a man who had issued her the challenge, and now he was waiting to see if she could rise to meet it. "Good afternoon," Amara began, her voice steady despite the pounding of her heart. 3 weeks ago, I stood in this room and told Mr. Musk that I had built a robot in my garage. He gave me a challenge to make it solve a real-world problem. Today, I'm here to show you what I've created. The room fell silent as Amara placed her robot on the demonstration table and turned it on. A small hum filled the air as the robot powered up. She positioned a small pile of trash nearby, consisting of plastic bottles, paper, and food waste. The audience leaned forward, their anticipation palpable. The robot sprang to life. Its mechanical arms began scanning the items, guided by the basic AI system Amara had painstakingly programmed. Slowly but deliberately, it started sorting the trash into separate bins: recyclables, non-recyclables, and organic waste. The crowd watched in rapt silence as the robot worked. It wasn't flashy or fast, but it was methodical and accurate. When the robot placed a final item in the correct bin, the room erupted in applause. Amara felt a surge of relief and glanced at Elon Musk. He was nodding, a slight smile on his face. But just as she allowed herself a moment of triumph, a loud clicking noise broke the applause. The robot froze, its arms suspended awkwardly in midair. The crowd fell silent, their excitement replaced by murmurs of concern. Amara's heart sank. She quickly moved to the robot, her mind racing to diagnose the issue. Sweat trickled down her forehead as she opened the casing and identified the problem. A motor had overheated from the strain of repeated use. She could hear the murmurs growing louder. catching snippets like, "She tried, but she's not ready for this level." Suddenly, Elon Musk stood up and walked toward the stage. Amara's panic surged. Was he about to call off the demonstration? But instead, he leaned in and asked calmly, "Do you know what caused the problem?" Swallowing her fear, Amara nodded. "It's the motor. It's overheating because the load is too heavy." Elon handed her a tool from the nearby table. "Fix it," he said simply. Her hands trembled as she opened the robot's casing. This was a problem she had tackled countless times in her garage, but the weight of the moment made every movement feel monumental. The world was watching, and she couldn't fail. She replaced a faulty motor with a spare she had brought, recalibrating the system with a precision born of countless late-night repairs. Each second felt like an eternity. Finally, she stepped back and restarted the robot. It whirred to life, and the audience held their breath as it resumed its task. This time, the robot performed flawlessly, completing the sorting task faster than before. The audience erupted into cheers, the applause thunderous. Amara let out a deep breath, her face breaking into a radiant smile. Elon Musk clapped, a look of genuine admiration on his face. "That's what I like to see," he said, addressing the audience as much as Amara. "Someone who doesn't give up when things go wrong." He stepped onto the stage and stood beside her, turning to face the crowd. "What Amara has done here is nothing short of remarkable," he said. "She's proven that innovation doesn't require fancy labs or degrees. It requires passion and determination." Then he turned to Amara. "You've earned your place at Tesla," he said. "But more than that, I want to help you develop this robot into something that can change the world." The crowd's applause was deafening. Tears welled up in Amara's eyes as the weight of the moment hit her. She had done it. All the late nights, the sacrifices, the ridicule. It had all been worth it. She had proven not just to Elon Musk, but to herself, that she was capable of greatness.